Hello, dear family of astrology, and dear family of the channel. Sangat back with this incredible new moon in Sagittarius. Yes, incredible. And you will see why. It happens in some places, most places, December the 1st, but in the West Coast, in some places in the Pacific, it could happen November the 30th because this is straddling the midnight between November the 30th and December the 1st. December 1st, 2024, the new moon, the moon and the sun are together at 9 degrees 32 of Sagittarius. And we will see, this looks like, the horses running in the wild with the rainbow in the back. You will see why. Okay, so thank you for visiting my channel and for listening to my report. I would appreciate if you comment, subscribe, like, and share. This new moon has this incredible features. One of them is that the moon is out of bounds. I have already explained in previous videos what out of bounds is, but Venus is also out of bounds. So those are some of the aspects that this moon features, and but we will see the aspects. We will see everything. We will analyze that. But I will also give you the perspective of the whole lunar cycle. We will start by the waxing square, and then we will see the full moon. And we will see that the themes will be repeating and confirming themselves and affirming themselves. So we will see that the traits of the new moon will carry over the whole month. So we will have important features, important traits to discuss about this new moon. So let's get started, and I will have my notes here in my calendar. I took notes so I remember everything that I want to tell you. But meanwhile, you can already order your report. Next year, starting 1st of January, my fees will increase. So take advantage and order your astrology report this year. For next year, you can even order your solar return whenever it happens, either this year or next year at the price that is right now. Do not wait until next year because, as I said, it will increase. So you can send your information privately through this email, and you can find me in social media and my blog, satsangatastrology.blogspot.com, where you can find an interesting article about the changes of the nodes of the moon to the axis of Pisces Virgo. So you can visit my Facebook page. It's at Sangat Astrology. Everything has the same name to facilitate your life. I am on Pinterest, Instagram, MeWe, Tumblr as well. So, and that's it. That's everything that is on this show. So we'll go back to the new moon. It happens, as I said, December 1st at midnight, past midnight, 21 minutes. So the chart is drawn with 0 Aries rising because it applies to everybody and everywhere in the world. And if you happen to have an Aries rising chart, then you will have it here. But otherwise, you need to find which house is Sagittarius for you personally. So the new moon is 9 degrees 32 Sagittarius. We have the sun and the moon, a marriage of energies, right? We don't see the moon. That's very important because the moon is hidden by the sun rays. And why is it important? Because we really don't know what is starting, especially with this new moon. It's similar to the Scorpio new moon because it was also factors of hiding and secrets. Well, now it's not so much a secret, but something that we are not aware of. And I will explain all about it. So a moon and the sun in Sagittarius is a very joyful time, very positive and optimism. So you are making projects for the future, especially for the holidays, planning travel and planning parties and adventures. It's a very joyful time, right? The end of the year. The harvest is already done. We are at the time of festivities. We celebrate because it's the end of the work, especially for farmers, right? People who work the land. But that is the tradition. After the harvest is done and everything is taken care, then it's festivities. So this is a very festive lunar cycle that brings some, I would say, doubts, delays, breaks, obstacles, and we'll see why. So a moon in Sagittarius is also our mind is invested in looking for freedom, relaxing, going forward, adventure, expansion, and looking for joy and entertainment and growth, right? But as well, we are looking with, especially with Mercury there, we're looking for the truth in many ways, and we are inspecting our beliefs, our belief system, philosophies, ideologies. We are learning something new. And we are pushing our limits. Sagittarius is the horse that is wild and runs ahead, free, without constraint. So it's also new moon in with the themes of culture, religion, and with the world how it is right now, very polarized. And I don't mean just the United States, I mean the world, because everywhere we see this polarization and opposition that is it's been instigated since the late 90s, beginning of the 90s, and the late 80s, sorry, and beginning of the 90s, with the internet, we've seen this tendency to this divide where people are actually in two uh, parties or two sectors, is right or left, black and white, right? And I don't know, one religion against another religion, one country against another country, one hemisphere against the other hemisphere. So we see this tendency. Uh, Curiously, the ruler of this Sagittarius moon is Jupiter, and it is in the opposite sign. is not exactly opposite, but is opposite its ruler. Meaning that Mercury is Jupiter's ruler and Jupiter is the new moon and Mercury's ruler. So here we have a correspondence or kind of a collaboration, or maybe, Mercury is not comfortable in Jupiter's sign. Jupiter is not comfortable in Mercury's sign, and but at the same time, they're visiting each other. And when you visit someone else's house, and that other person, the owner of the house, is visiting your house, then you better take care of the place, right? You better do a good job, because the other person, you expect them to also take care of your house. So this is this correspondence, this kind of compromise that is taking place. But at the same time, there is the tension. We don't know if the other person will take care of our house, right? So there's this tension and this doubt, probably. If you think about Mercury in Sagittarius is thinking about the big picture, and it has a hard time making sense of the big picture, because Mercury it deals with data, with minutia, with the details and the little things, the dates and the numbers and the words and the small stuff. And it has a hard time making sense of the whole thing, because when you have a lot of data, you need to relate them in a way that makes sense, that it gives you some meaning. Sagittarius looks for meaning. And on the other end of the spectrum, we have Jupiter with this abundance of information and data, abundance of news, abundance of communication, abundance of emails and publications and posts in social media and in the news and this and that. And we are overwhelmed by the amount of information, and one news saying one thing and the other news saying another thing, and often opposite, right? As Gemini is the divide. So we have this division and the abundance of information that is available. And then, of course, so this is an environment, a mental environment, where we are lost. We are completely confused. And oftentimes, if we choose to believe whatever we choose to believe, we might be misinformed, we might misunderstand, we might get a wrong truth, quote unquote, a wrong assumption, because it's so confusing out there. So whatever you choose to believe, it will try to take it with a grain of salt, because you really don't know at this point. You really don't know what is true, what is not true, if there is any truth, or is everything a lie, is everything imagined. And as I said, with this new moon in Sagittarius, we have a hard time making sense of the big picture, of the really the meaning of things, and making sense of everything. So there could be exaggeration, and there could be things that are very difficult to believe, because it could be too good to be true, or there could be too much information and we really don't know which one is which. So the mind is not able to focus. Moreover, the moon, which is the mind, the moon is out of bounds. So it's kind of, our emotions are out there. uh, out of control in a very uh, emotional out of control. So what does it mean that the moon is out of bound? In practical terms, we have this profound need for freedom, the ability to inspire other people in a positive way. It is um, emotional intelligence and probably a good intuition that you can trust. But sometimes there could be um, difficulty identifying the feelings and going overboard and uh, going against the rules of society. It could be mood changes and destructive habits and so everything that is not the regular emotional life, right? So this is the out of bound moon that it is like having the moon with Uranus, for example, or with a North Node, something that is exaggerated, or out of the regular behavior, emotional behavior. So other than that, we have this tension, this opposition between the moon and, sorry, Mercury and Jupiter. And very, very soon, what happens is that the moon will square Saturn and the sun in about 2 or 3 days will square Saturn as well. So we have this confusion and probably exaggeration of, as I said, of ideas and um, adopting ideas or ideologies that very extreme in a way, and beliefs that are also extreme, very, for example, very religious or very attached to our cultural background and such. And also we need to consider that Sagittarius is very preachy. It's a sign that it is inclined to say, well, this is what I believe, and you should believe it too, because I am right. So it's this sense of I am sure, I have faith, and then you should have it as well. So, and the square to Saturn in Pisces, we see these mutable signs that are adjusting themselves, but at the same time, in the square is a cardinal energy. And what it means is that Saturn puts like the foot in the wheel, and it is the obstacles or breaks or the annoying rules that are required to do in order to achieve what you want to achieve. So let's have an example. Let's say Sagittarius is your house, your fourth house, and then you have this new moon and you have the project to decorate your house for Christmas, right? And then Saturn may mean that you are not allowed to put lights outside because the city prohibits the use of lights because there is no enough electricity, or whatever, right? A rule, a regulation that you are not allowed to do it. So it's probably an obstacle that will not allow you to do it, but uh, in other cases for other things, it could be a delay. For example, you want to decorate, but you don't have a tree and you can't find the tree that you want. So you need to go and hunt for it, or go and cut it, or go and buy it, and you have this delay. Or you are looking for a pie or something that you want for your festivities. Well, you can't because there isn't any. Or in case of shipping things, when you buy online, you ship something and then it gets lost in the mail or delayed, and the presents do not arrive on time because you order them now for Christmas, at the beginning of December, so they can arrive on time. But there's something that is in the way, and it's not allowed to arrive on time. So that's a simple example, but there are many other situations, right? It depends on where in your natal chart the new moon falls. Then there is another thing is that Mercury at this point is already retrograde. So wherever Jupiter is uh, publishing in the social media or the news, or communicating, the abundance of information, we will have to come back and review it. Mercury will hit the 9th degree, December the 10th, and then back again direct on December the 22nd. So what happens is that as I said, everything that we hear and we read, and the information that we have access now, it will have to be reviewed for making sense of it, and giving a meaning and understanding what this all about. And also, Saturn can represent coming back to reality, right? For example, you plan on traveling for the holidays, and Saturn is blocking you because it's not possible. And let me tell you that I doubt the travel will be all right during December, exactly because Mercury is opposite Jupiter, and Jupiter is square Saturn. Both are square Saturn. And in fact, Mercury will square Saturn twice, right? Retrograde and then back direct. And it has already squared Saturn prior to this new moon. I don't have the dates handy, sorry, but it already happened, and it will happen twice more. But what does it mean, right? Mercury is short trips. Gemini is short trips. Jupiter and Sagittarius are long distance travel and air travel, or cruise travel. And Saturn says, no, you can't right now. You need to wait. Or Saturn could be, well, you don't have the good document to travel. Or I don't know, you get sick. Saturn in Pisces. Virgo is the axis of illness and healing. So maybe Saturn is, your grandpa is in the hospital for whatever reason, or you are in the hospital and you cannot, at the moment of travel, you cannot. I highly recommend staying home for this holiday. this is not a good configuration to buy tickets now or to travel by close to the holidays. This is on the contrary configuration to stay home and observe what is going to happen. I have no idea why or how the travel will be thrown into chaos, but I mean, I am not planning on traveling. If you like to do it, well, of course, you're free to do it and be very careful, have all the documents that you need, and make sure the airline is an airline that you can trust. And if you go on a short trip, that your car is good in good condition, that the roads are in good condition, etc., etc., etc. So another thing that I would like to point out is that with this new moon, you will certainly change your perspectives in your mind. You will change your ideas, maybe your ideology, and you will question if you have a long date religious conviction, for example, or a very strong cultural identity. I think you will reevaluate all of that during the cycle, during the moon cycle. Because, as I said, this opposition, Mercury Jupiter square Saturn, is a configuration of doubts and questioning and, of course, misunderstanding, misconception, and delays in the understanding or getting the truth. And we will see now. I will show you the waxing square where the crisis in action happens. This means the square between the first square, the opening square between the moon and the sun. And you see here that is a T square. Very, very strong. Mercury is, as it was with the new moon, under the sun rays. So that's another factor that Mercury is not visible. So this means that not only is it retrograde, but not visible. It's very hard to pinpoint what is true in this case, Sagittarius, and they are in square with Saturn again. So we have again this moon conjunct Saturn, emotional sobriety, I said always. And this is a moon that is, even though in Pisces, very emotional, but with Saturn is the reality check, the uh, receiving this bucket of water over our head in order to wake us up to something that is happening, and the opposition with Jupiter. So we still have the same planets and the same configuration in a T square at the wax. In fact, is stronger in the waxing square. Where is the crisis in action? And this is December the 8th. So by then you are already buying presents online, most probably. You are buying tickets to travel, etc., etc. Well, I don't advise you to do that. At the same time, we have this conjunction Venus, which is out of bounds and is together with Ceres and Pluto at 0 degree Aquarius. This is super significant. If you remember, Ceres was one of the participants of the multiple conjunction in January 2020. where Saturn, Pluto, the Sun, Ceres, Mercury were all conjunct in 22 degrees 45, 46 minutes of Capricorn. So here, Ceres is finishing her cycle of 4 years around the zodiac and come back to Pluto. At the same time, Saturn is in the first semi-square, 45 degrees distance from Pluto. So this means that the cycle that they started in Capricorn is barely opening, barely initiating. So remember, everything started in Capricorn. So some people are hoping that the world will change, the political, the corporations, the governmental institution will be so different because Pluto is in Aquarius. The cycle with Saturn started in Capricorn. So this means that for the next 37 years or such, they will be playing their game of Capricorn. And this is just the start. This is just the semi-square where things start, but they don't go anywhere still. So the crisis in action is when they square. It will be several years down the road. But for now, there is attempt to start something, but it doesn't go anywhere. So, however, this conjunction of 0 degree of Aquarius is very, very important, especially considering that Venus is with Pluto and Ceres. And Venus represents our resources, finances, the energy that we need, and this is transformation. It could mean something about digital currency. I'm not a specialist of financial astrology or finances at all, but in this case, I see the symbolism of Venus transforming herself in the underworld. And of Pluto in the house with Pluto. In Ceres, if you trust the um, the mythology, Ceres was kind of a victim of Pluto because Pluto had kidnapped, supposedly, her daughter, and she was grieving the daughter's absence and etc. But I don't trust that Ceres, the astrological asteroid body, will go too much with the mythology. I think that Ceres is more our need to be cared for. That's one of the things. And it may mean that the way that we need to be cared in society, Aquarius, is through the reformations that Pluto is bringing. So this is a new cycle that starts 4 years. 4 years is the cycle of Ceres. And of course, she will come back to Aquarius because Pluto in 4 years will be still in Aquarius. This is the waxing square then, but let's take a look at the full moon. And I'm not going to go in depth analyzing these charts, but it's simply to show you that the same theme of the new moon will be repeated at the full moon. It's like playing the same music, if you like. Mercury will be stationary at that time, and the full moon happens at 23 degrees 52 minutes of these Gemini and Sagittarius. And what is curious that I looked up the next eclipses in March, and this full moon is perfectly square the lunar eclipse March 14, 2025 in Virgo. And that happens in Virgo at 23 degrees 56 minutes. So it's just 4 minutes of orb. So I think this full moon is pretty significant prelude to the eclipse that is coming March 14. And at the same time, we see that it is square Neptune. So if there was a confusion at the beginning of the moon cycle in Sagittarius, now we are more confused even. And the moon with Jupiter is very ultra emotional. Of course, emotional information, emotional exchanges, emotional conversations, but we are still looking for understanding. We are still confused and hopefully not deceived by ourselves or by others. But be careful. Be careful of fraud during your Christmas shopping. Be careful of believing whatever they tell you, something that is getting there fast or faster and such. Especially be careful traveling. I think there will be problems for some reason, whatever reason, there will be problems in travel for Christmas. It might be an illness, pandemic or epidemic or something that will go around and will ruin our Christmas travel. That could be, or it could be that there are storms. We have seen Neptune at the end of Pisces in the decan of Scorpio ruled by Pluto. We have seen the deadliest storms in history that we know of. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is a huge storm that cuts everything and we cannot travel due to that. That is another possibility. So be prepared, and that's not all I need to tell you because, and let's go back to the new moon, because this new moon is conjunct Antares. Antares is a fixed star, and it's 9 degrees of Sagittarius, and it's a fixed star that is on Ares. You know, Ares is the name of Mars in Greek mythology, and is of a martial and malefic nature. I'm going to read quotes from complete research from this astrologer Jamie, an Astrology King website. He has a page about all the fixed stars, and it has quotes from all ancient and traditional authors. So I'm going to read some quotes. So the Antares is the nature of Mars and Jupiter, meaning it's more than Martian, more than aggressive, more than conflictive, and it causes malevolence, destructiveness, it's evil presages and danger of fatality, and makes people who has a prominent, very destructive to themselves or by their own obstinacy. Now, another author indicated that this binary star is the rival of Mars. It's in the constellation of Scorpio and is near the neck of the Scorpion, and near uh, the mouth. This stars gives the native a king mentality, courage, sudden happenings, unforeseen events, accidents, self-destruction, broad-mindedness, and violence. So it's belligerent and is obstinated, violent character, violent death, either in battle or by the process of law. On the other hand, danger may come about by fire, weapons, machinery. So Ptolemy, an ancient uh, astrologer, says that Antares is of the nature of Mars and Jupiter, and it is an indicator of success in war and high command, but not forgetting that the opponent may have the support of Aldebaran. Aldebaran is a star that is right opposite Antares in Gemini. So it says that Aldebaran, the star opposite, is the star of Archangel Michael, commander of the heavenly host itself. So what does tend to show up when these two stars are both engaged in the horoscope is conflict. Either the starting date of a war or the natal charts of the leaders is that peace rarely ensures before the total and crushing defeat of one side or the other. So if the war escalates to huge proportions, even to the world scale, it's like Mars and Jupiter. Jupiter increases the Mars energy. And we are seeing this, I mean, the way I see this war in Middle East is like the explosion of the polarity, the great antagonism that there is in the world, like one side against the other in all levels. It's not, no, I'm not talking about religious here. I'm saying that it's like a scapegoat war that is exploding because everything is against everything and everyone is against everyone. So it's like having a burst, having a boil that is bursting, right? Because the whole body is sick, if I explain myself. So having the whole body sick, there is one escape, right? One way to escape, and that's probably the Middle East war. And we have people opposing it and people favoring it, and that is the divide that is projected. Let's say that the people project onto that war that the antagonisms that people have in general. So I also wanted to show you the US chart because this will be interesting. Here's the US chart. as you know it, ascendant 12 Sagittarius, and Antares is rising here right next to the ascendant. And the new moon is over there, right next to the ascendant on the first house. I use whole sign houses, most especially for countries. That's the way that it has been done for centuries and is very, very telling. So we have ascendant at 12, and this website, Astrology King, says that ascendant conjunct Antares gives riches and honor, military honor and preferment, violence, sickness, and benefits seldom last. So, meaning that everything that the United States has gained so far may be lost with this Antares on the ascendant. Now, Jupiter is over here at 17 degrees, I think, in the full moon. It is over the descendant and next to Mars, between the descendant and Mars, and is retrograde at the time of the new moon. Sorry. So it will join the close to the descendant. And Saturn is here in the fourth house, meaning that is restricting the people, and the fourth house is the very base of the country. And the fourth house is the land and the deepest roots of the country. So, and also is the opposition to the government, 10th house, to the executive. And here we have, which is interesting, because the executive power has Neptune at 22 degrees of Virgo. And as I said, this new moon in Sagittarius and then the full moon in Gemini, especially the full moon in Gemini, will be the moon will be conjunct Mars and squaring Neptune, and at the same time will be squaring that lunar eclipse in Virgo I told you about, and that lunar eclipse in Virgo will be conjunct Neptune. So I think that there is a weakness that will be revealed, and it will be very important for the future of the country. Having Mars square Neptune means probably that as you have seen lately, the US has lost all the wars. So I don't know. I don't want to predict anything, but it doesn't look too good for the country. Anyways, having the sun and the moon conjunct Antares here, and let's go again to back to the presentation here. I hope you see it. Let's see. No, you don't see it. Okay. So here we are, the new moon conjunct Antares in Sagittarius. We have the sun conjunct Antares, we have the moon. And I'm going to read you. It says, this is a great caution conjunction. Natives can gain high preferment and suddenly the rug can be pulled from them. Natives from less than desirable environments can have sudden and unexpected violence either thrust upon them or they will be the perpetrators. There may be many honors, but there is a danger of violent situations to or around the native. This conjunction gives to those who deserve it, right? These fixed stars are honor stars, are royal stars, meaning that whoever is deserving and honoring the energy receives the benefits. But general, if, for example, the native can gain high honor, riches, gain preferment in martial and arts and politics, but if they use it for the wrong purposes or for the wrong with the wrong ends, then they may lose everything. Now, the moon conjunct Antares, it says, let's see, it gives great power, honor, and wealth, but benefits may not prove lasting. The danger of violence, sickness, drowning, or assassination, and other things. So it says there is martial benefits in sports, in public affairs, and this conjunction is good for business matters. And what else? The negative nativities will be more affected by self-destruction and violence. So there is a danger with this new moon, and it will carry the energy for the whole cycle. And let's read what it says about the opposition to Aldebaran. It also gives honors, but it gives high public preference. Earned or not can be expected with these conjunctions. Honors are possible, and the native can be recognized as a leader in the career. But the position brings recognition or glory to these individuals that are not earned. They have not rightfully worked to earn it unless they have pursued a conscious path. With this configuration, all will be lost eventually. So you see, once we arrive to the full moon, we will see the full development of this energy that we cannot see with the new moon. Because first of all, the moon is hidden under the sun rays. Mercury is hidden under the sun rays. And Mercury is in detriment in Sagittarius. It rules the ruler of the moon that is also in detriment and is square Saturn. So there is delay, there is not, the truth is nowhere to be found. And as I said, I think the main problem will be for the holiday season, because travel will be a problem. We'll have problems. So I hope you have a nice time and good holidays starting at Thanksgiving already. And I wish you the best. And thank you for watching and for enduring 1 hour and more. But I'll see you next time. Bye.